Lesson 15. Can Jesus turn my storm into a story? Man, is that a relevant question. You and I both have people all around us in crisis. And maybe it's you. Personal, spiritual, professional. And we call out to God, can you help us in our storm? This story addresses that question head on. It had been a long day of teaching for Jesus, and he's in the boat, and he says to the guys, let's just go over to the other side. And they don't go to shore, they don't pack a lunch, they just take off. Now, the other side was literally the other side of the tracks. That's where Gentiles lived. That was foreign territory. So they're a bit uneasy. And to make matters worse, in the middle of the night, a storm comes crashing down on the lake. Literally, this lake, we call it the Sea of Galilee, is 695 feet below sea level. And the hills around it kind of create this low pressure system. When the weather comes across the lake, it crashes down with frightening speed into the lake. We have actually found one of these boats that was sunk in a lake. And you can go to a museum today and see it is barely big enough for 12 men to be in. And now they have 13 with Jesus. He's asleep in the back of the boat. Let's eavesdrop into the story. And a great windstorm arose, and the waves were breaking into the boat, so that the boat was already filling. But he was in the stern, asleep on a cushion. And they woke him and said to him, Teacher, do you not care that we are perishing? And he awoke and rebuked the wind and said to the sea, Peace, be still. And the wind ceased, and there was a great calm. And he said to them, Why are you so afraid? Have you still no faith? And they were filled with great fear and said to one another, Who then is this, that even the wind and the sea obey him? They've been traveling with Jesus for better part of a year, and they still don't understand the magnitude of his majesty, all that he can do, all that he can accomplish. They're in a boat that's in a storm, and they wake him up. Clearly, they don't believe he can calm the storm, so why did they wake him up? I mean, they're shocked when he does. Why did they wake him up? My guess? They handed him a pail and asked him to bail out the boat. Isn't that just what we do with Jesus in our crisis? Their mindset and ours is that if we're going to get to the other side, like you said for us to do, we're just doing what you want us to do. If we're going to do that, you need to help us, and you're not helping. Little do they know that he is the creator of that lake, not just a passenger on a boat in the middle of it. If you but say the word, Jesus can stand in the middle of your boat and say to your storm, Peace, be still. They get to the other side, and a wild man accosts them. Again, this is foreign territory, so they're already a little nervous. And a guy comes bounding out of the cliffs, which is also a graveyard, so that's weird too. He is a demoniac. According to the Bible, he is extremely strong. He would tear chains apart. He is naked, he is wild, he is homicidal, he is suicidal, and he is loud. And he comes screaming at them. Verse 7 says, with a loud voice, he said, What have you to do with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? I adjure you by God, do not torment me. For he was saying to him, Come out of the man, you unclean spirit. And Jesus asked him, What is your name? And he replied, My name is Legion, for we are many. And he begged him earnestly not to send them out of the country. Now on the cliff are these herdsmen that they've thought this was funny up till now. Because again, they're Gentiles, and they see these Jewish boys come up at the shore, and they go, Oh, this is going to be good. Watch what happens. The demoniac's down there. He's going to get him. And he runs up to him, but then skids to a halt in front of Jesus. And they can hear the demoniac shouting, What do you have to do with me, Son of the Most High God? That had to have piqued their interest. And then when the demons request to go into the pigs, these night watchmen have to be saying, No, no, no. This at 2,000 pigs was a major cash crop for the entire area. It's destroyed like that. The night watchmen run into town and wake up the owners and say, we got a problem. And they come out to Jesus, and when they see him, he was dressed and in his right mind. Question, how was he dressed? Like, where did he get the clothes from? My guess? Offer Jesus back. And so he starts to get back in the boat, and this demoniac says, or ex-demoniac says, Jesus, let me come with you. But he's a Gentile. He can't come with Jesus without really being a problem in a Jewish community. And so Jesus says to him, no, you can't come with me. Rather, listen, go home to your friends and tell them how much the Lord has done for you and how he's had mercy on you. And he went away and began to proclaim in the Decapolis how much Jesus had done for him. And everyone marveled. This man went back home. Obviously, he would go tell his parents what happened. And then the rumor spread, and the neighbors came over, and they said, tell them the story too. And pretty soon he's at the Elks Club and doing civic events and telling everybody about how Jesus had impacted his life. And then he begins to get an invite to another town, and in another, and in another. The verse says he went through the Decapolis. That's not one city, that's 10 cities. And the next time Jesus is in the area, he feeds 4,000 people. Not 5,000, that was with the Jews. The 4,000 is with the Gentiles. Where did they all come from? When the community asked Jesus to go away, how did 4,000 people hear about him and come out and hear the message of salvation? My guess is because of one demoniac who shared his story. Don't be too quick in crisis to get to the other side, because your deepest pain is often your highest platform for making Jesus famous.